My name is Rachel Rofe. I created this show because I wanted to help you see that if you have a choice, you can choose a better life. If you're listening to this podcast, you're in a pretty fortunate position. You have free will, ability to connect to the internet, and access to all kinds of new education. This podcast is meant to help you make the most of your good fortune. We talk with all kinds of people here from all walks of life because I want you to see that no matter what your situation, there's always a way to create a life that you're proud of. Today's episode is 7 ways to get anything you want. And this is actually based off of an article that I wrote for Mind Body Green back in June. And it's just people seem to really be enjoying it. It's been shared well over 6,000 times on Mind Body Green, and then it was republished on medium.com. I get emails all the time that it was recommended to other people. And so I thought I would just read it here on the podcast and then also add some commentary. The premise of the article was just, a lot of times we have these big dreams and it's hard to reach your dreams for a lot of people, obviously. I mean, if it was just easy, then everyone would be living these dream lives, and unfortunately, that's not what's happening. I believe that most things that you really want, you can create if you just know the tools, the things that you should be doing to make them actually happen, because a lot of people just don't have those tools. That was the mindset that I was coming in when I started writing this article. So I'll start reading it now, and then, like I said, just add a little bit of commentary. One phrase I hear people say all the time is that success is all about taking action. No matter what your goal is, if you take action, you succeed. If you don't, you fail. In my experience, that's not the truth. The truth is that it's all about taking, capital letters, focused action. That's the distinction that'll make or break you and help you reach any goal that you have. Here's the difference. People who just take action are people who try something, then another thing, and then another thing. They follow the shiny objects. Then they generally get upset that nothing works. From their perspective, they've tried all kinds of things, but absolutely nothing is yielding results. People who take focused action, on the other hand, don't have that problem. They have a long-term mindset and they're committed to their progress. Here are 7 things that you can do to take focused action and finally see the results that you're looking for. Number 1, have a plan with a built-in measurement system. So you can't take focused action if you don't know where you're going. So have a measurable goal and an established timeline. So maybe you make a goal for 30, 90, 100 days or 2 years out, and then you work backwards from that plan. So what needs to happen for you to get to where you want to go? So for example, let's say you want to lose 10 pounds in 2 months. What needs to happen for you to be able to do that? Maybe you need to get to the gym 2 more days per week, and you say no to at least 1 late night dinner per week. Whatever you want, having that specific goal and then measurable metrics along the way will help you get there. I have a full book on this if you go to rachelrofe.com/goal setting, and it talks about different ways that you can use this particular strategy of just creating that long-term plan and then working backwards to make it actually happen. Number 2, have a to-do list or an action plan that doesn't freak you out. So once you create your plan, take daily actions towards whatever you're wanting to create and make these lists manageable, ideally with 3 to 5 items per day. If you could even just accomplish 1 or 2 of these bigger tasks out of your 3 to 5 per day, imagine how productive you'd feel at the end of the week. And I know it's counterintuitive because a lot of us have these mile-long to-do lists, but the reality is that most people get so overwhelmed by the list that they end up doing way less than they would if they just pared it down to the most important things. Or, they might do the opposite, and maybe they'll do all kinds of different things, and they just get caught up in busy work and they fail to prioritize the real change-making tasks. So if you can just go through, and here's some kind of commentary not in the article, is one of the ways that I've been publishing or doing my to-do list now is I go through and I write down everything that I need to do on an Excel spreadsheet, and then I have an importance level from 1 to 10 of how important that task is. And so I sort them out by importance level, and then I do the things that are the most important every day. And so that's been really helpful. And then I just write 3 to 5 things of the most important things, and I do the hardest things first. So going the less is more route, I'm positive it's going to help you see more major momentum without burning yourself out. Number 3, chip away consistently. So the best action takers, they don't need to see immediate gratification. They know that if they keep plugging away, eventually all of their momentum will add up and they'll see major results. They know that most overnight success stories, quotes overnight, are years in the making, and they're in it for the long haul. Number 4, get help. So if you're trying to go to some kind of new uncharted territory for yourself, it makes sense to cut your learning curve as much as possible. Now, I'm guilty as much as many other people of trying to learn something and spending hours and hours when it's really unnecessary. So invest in courses, books, mentors who can help you get to your end destination in a faster way and really cheaper when you consider just months of trial and error. The only thing that we have really limited is time. Number 5, work with your strengths and delegate the rest. It's often a lot cheaper in both time and money to hire people for the things that you're not good at. So people who take focused action, they don't waste time trying to learn things that are going to slow them down or frustrate them. They just go to sites like Elance or Fiverr, where they ask for recommendations and just quickly hire out whatever it is that they need. Number 6, have a positive attitude. So odds are obstacles are going to come up. Obstacles come up for everybody. But successful, focused action takers look for solutions quickly instead of getting into victim mode. This way, things don't hold them back. They can keep their focus on getting to their destination as quickly as possible, and they can just make things happen. Number 7, make choices based on your goals. So there's always going to be tons of opportunities out there, and people who are really great at taking consistent, focused action only say yes to things that are consistent with where they ultimately want to be. So they don't flitter from shiny object to shiny object because their eyes are just on the goals that they've set out, period. When they have those specific goals, it's a lot easier to keep their eyes on the prize. That is the article. I hope that this helps you, and if you have any questions on this or you'd like me to do a fuller podcast on any of these things that I've mentioned, just let me know. Go on rachelrofay.com, post a comment. I would love to hear, as I've mentioned in tons of podcasts. Just the more feedback that I get from you, the more confident that I can be in making sure that you're getting things that you actually want. And obviously the better it is for you because you get to hear things that will directly help you. I can make podcasts myself, and then I can also ask people if I don't know about certain things or I don't feel like I'm enough of an authority in them. So hope this one helps you. Have a spectacular day. Thank you so much for listening to A Better Life. You can find all show notes for this episode at rachelrofay.com. If you enjoyed this episode, subscribe so you can automatically get access to all new shows. Let's also connect. Just go onto Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram /RachelRofay and we can talk there. The opinions of all guests here are their own, and I'm not necessarily endorsing any of them. I do want to give you perspective though. And always remember, if you have a choice, choose a better life.